Hey guys, welcome back to Kid Forward. My name is Paul, and today we're taking a look at the Wurkkos HD01. First of all, quick disclaimer, this was sent over for review by Wurkkos. However, they did not get any input into my opinion of this light, any early access to the review, and they did not provide any financial compensation. However, I do try my best to make sure that I am not too disconnected from the price of the light, as I did receive this without having to invest any of my own funds. So first of all, let's jump on into a size comparison. We have a 91mm Swiss Army knife up top and a 58mm down bottom. On to some more flashlight specific comparisons. Here we have a AA battery on top and a AAA on bottom. And everyone loves a good old girth comparison. There we go. And just for the sake of science, here it is with an 18650 as well. Now going into a design overview, as you can see we have a 2-button setup, and these actually are both light indicators around the button as well as glow-in-the-dark diffuser panels. On the side we obviously have a rather large side light here with a diffuser panel over the top. And up front we have our front emitter with a tier-style optic and a laser emitter. For the clip, we have a 3-point mounted clip with a 2-way direction. And this is a flat base, allowing it to tail stand quite nicely, and that flat base is also magnetic. Now, into the pros of the Wurkkos HD01. But first, let's actually go through the brightnesses and the run times. Can you tell it's been a while? So this is going to be a little bit of a bulky boy to get through, as we have quite a lot of options to go through. So first of all, let's go through the brightnesses, and then we'll go through the UI, and then we'll try and break down the UI in a way that's easy to understand. Feel free to pause if it's easier for you. However, we'll just go through now. Now, this is going to be, first of all, the front emitter, and moonlight mode is 1 lumen and runs for 70 hours. Low is 20 lumens, which runs for 24 hours. Medium is 100, which runs for 4 hours. High is 450 lumens, which runs for 1.3 hours. And turbo mode is 1200 lumens, which runs for an hour. However, I also guarantee it does step down, although it's not mentioned in the manual. And then here we also have our green light. So our laser runs for 13 hours and our side RGBs run for 8 hours. Now, in terms of the side light, which they're calling the floodlight, that's going to be 1 lumen. Now, that doesn't make any sense. So we have floodlight 1 lumen for 70 hours, and then medium of 25 lumens for 6.5 hours, high of 180 lumens for 2 hours. And I really wish this was just redesigned so we had an easier to read thing. Now, in terms of the UI, it is a bit of a beast. I will put this up on screen so you can pause and go through it if you want. It is a nice little flow chart to run through, but I'll go through it now on video just so you can see it in practical use. So we have 2 buttons here. The front button is basically going to be everything but this emitter, and this back button is only this forward emitter. So we're going to start with the forward emitter in a more typical flashlight use. If you press and hold, you're going to come into moonlight mode. And then press and hold to change brightnesses, so low, medium, high, and then we'll do a quick 2-click for turbo. And then this is your strobe warning, 3 clicks for getting into strobe. Strobe is now over for those avoiding it. And then if we do 4 quick clicks, this will go into lockout mode. Oh, wait. So that flashing is acknowledging that it is in lockout mode. And for lockout mode, you can actually use both buttons, so you can lock it out with the front one as well. Now moving on to the front button, if we just give it 1 press, that's going to give us our green laser. 2 presses, is going to give us our side lights, and then just press and hold to get through those. So low, medium, high. Something I want to highlight is that whilst you're using this side light, you can actually still use the forward emitter. So you can have both going at the same time for a lot of light. It's actually quite impressive. Now, if we go 3 clicks on this, we actually go into special modes. So this is our police imitation mode. I don't understand why some manufacturers include this, but they do. So once you're in this mode, you're then going to double click to then change. So a double click will go to a quite nice strobing RGB effect they call waterfall. Let me see if I can actually show this off a little better on camera. It's very difficult. So you can kind of see it on my hand there. It's just coming on through. And then double clicking again gives you this kind of teardrop effect as it gradually shifts through the colors, which is quite nice. And then to get through this as an actual full-on RGB light, you actually want to press and hold the front button. And then this gives you this nice side light that you press and hold, and it'll just gradually shift through the colors. All the way back through the aqua, blues, and before you know it, we're back where we started in the purples. And this does have mode memory, both in the regular emitter, the side light, and the RGB, so it will remember what color you have used previously. And besides lockout mode, there is one more thing. If we actually do a quick 5-click of the front button, we actually turn on breathing LEDs on the front, which can make it easier to find in the dark. It is a battery drain. I don't personally use it, but I do like the option is there. And then 5 to turn it off again. I do believe that is off from factory. Now into the pros of the Wurkkos HD01. And first of all, we do have USB-C charging, which is nice standard. Does come in the box with a USB-C cable as well as a lanyard. And in terms of the flap is decent. It's overall pretty easy to get in there and take out. It's not the most secure of waterproofing options, but it does work, and I do believe this is IP68. Let me just double check that real quick. So this is IP66, which is going to be more than enough for most instances. As long as you're not intentionally submerging it, it should just be fine. Now, I do like a lot of the functionality here, and I think if we're going to put a pro on a pedestal here, it is the sheer functionality of this light. You get a normal flashlight in the front, which is very nice, very usable. I'll put a beam shot short up here for you to check out. It does give a very usable beam. Not the best of flashlights, given the size of the emitter, the reflector, and everything else going on here. It is actually very serviceable. I do think this is a capable EDC flashlight in general. The laser is actually surprisingly bright. I think it's a little brighter than my arc felt. I will say that in the UK, our laser pointers do get bumped down a little bit. So American brands and American models from certain brands do get a little brighter. So I'm not sure if I got one that kind of slipped through the cracks, but this is brighter for a laser pointer than I would typically be used to, which is very nice. The side light, particularly with the flat bottom and the magnetic tail, means that this is actually great for just being like a reading light or a work light, because you can just put it down basically anywhere. Now, if you're going to be working in a more practical setting, shall we say, in a review table, then this would be great, say, in a server cabinet, network cabinet, where you can just stick it to the rails, and then you can easily see all of the port numbers, get that switched out with nice and easily. Same thing with Electrician Works. This would stick very easily to a panel, and just that combination of being able to put it where you need and getting whatever light you want is a very good pro in my opinion. I do also like the little touches that are in this flashlight, like this breathing thing. It's not for me. I have other flashlights that do this. I don't like it. I think it's just a battery drain, but I do acknowledge some people like it, and I like that it's both an option, and I do think it was off from the factory, which is nice. This is nice catering to people that doesn't really hurt anything, right? The LEDs are there anyway because they're power indicators and they indicate charging and whatnot. So just giving us the option to use them in that other way it's nice. It's very useful. And on the UI section, there's a lot going on here. The UI isn't perfect, I would say. In terms of using the side light, I would have preferred a double click go into the, well, this solid color mode rather than into this, there we go. I would have preferred triple click rather go into the solid color mode rather than that. And I don't really see the need for a police option to begin with. But the UI, given how many controls are in place here, is actually very solid, very robust. And in terms of form factor, this is very light and very compact for how much you're getting. I will say that this is very, very portable, and I think that is definitely a strong suit for it. And all of the individual things this does, the front light, the laser, the side light, it is competent at the very least at all of them, and that's hard to say. Not everyone that attempts this kind of thing does get there. And now into the cons. So I'm going to be real here, like this is a pretty solid light, and most of these cons are going to be nitpickish. The biggest con that I have for this light is the pocket clip. The pocket clip sucks. There's no other way around it. The pocket clip just is bad. It's not, we would like to see a deep clip, but a deep clip is kind of a gilding the lily kind of thing. It's not, you know, that great. But I'm trying to see if you can see here. There is no ramp to this clip. There is no ramp to it whatsoever. And on top of there being no ramp, it's actually a really tight clip. What that means in practice is that putting this on a pocket is a two-hand operation, and it's unpleasant the entire way through. In comparison to, let me get a different, okay, so this is the Trustfire Mini X3. You can see we have similar, both reversible clips, but can you see the difference going on here in the ramp? You have a pretty significant ramp with the Mini X3, whereas you just get this rounded end you've got to ram fabric against. And then the reverse side, again, just very tight. If this was made deep carry, throw a little bit of ramp on there and loosen the tension a little bit, this would be a great pocketable option. It's just this clip is really letting it down. And overall, it's a little bit slick. This is just basically sides of anodized aluminium, like we could do with a little bit of jimping. X3, we have some straight jimping here, some other examples. Sofa and IF23, we have some arrows providing some grip here. And this is the slick kind of anodization. We do get a little bit of grip from the diffuser panel on this side, but it'd be nice if you just put some serration into the machining over here just to make this just a little bit more grippy. And I honestly, like with this lanyard hole being down here, I would also, that would be one benefit of it being a deep carry clip. This is a very low mounting point for a lanyard. Again, that's all very nitpicky. And my final real nitpick about this is just going to be the, so this mode, this mode has no memory. You will always go into this police function first, and that is going to be something you are probably never going to want to use and may be questionable to use legally to begin with. Whereas, there we go. Whereas this is actually pretty cool. And this is actually pretty cool. And you could actually use this as like a little desk ornament even. But the fact that it goes into that police mode first and there's no memory for this is just a minor bugbear. And one that's a little bit, probably more specific to me and people like me that have a lot of lights that rotate through. My instinct would be for the front flashlight button to be this one up front, whereas all the secondary modes, which there are more of them, but you're probably less likely to use them, being this back one. As you can see, I just hit strobe by accident. I keep doing that on this light. Practically speaking, you would get used to where the buttons are pretty quickly. I do jump around through lights, both for review purposes and just, that's just how I like to use my EDC. So that's something that's going to affect me and some other people more than, but it is just like a little bit unintuitive in my opinion, but that's very subjective. overall, for the price, which a quick check showed me between 35 and 50 bucks, depending on where you choose to get this from and if you can apply coupons to it, this is a very solid value light. The clip is the only thing really letting this down, but if you're happy to just throw this in a pocket or bend the crap out of the clip to make it work, I think this is a really compelling option that might actually work for a lot of people. But what do you think of the Wurkkos HD01? Let me know in the comment section down below. Have you had it? Are you interested in it? Are there any other Wurkkos products you would like me to check out? Whilst you're down there, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe to the channel. It greatly helps. And if you would like to support the channel more directly, please consider a YouTube membership, Patreon subscription, or even a coffee donation. Every little helps gets more content onto the channel. But until next time, I've been Paul, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.